It's a 16-point Pace lead. Lauren Shetter cannot get a tough basket there.
That was good defense from Claudia Tucci there,
So
not giving her any room.
Riley Skinner on a pass to Sophia Holmes. And then
Tucci collided there.
Yep, and I believe she gets called for the foul. An offensive charge.
Collided with Nea Rivera there.
So Hannah Martin now comes in for the Ravens. Martin with just 2 points in this game. Ravens had scoring from all their bench players except for Paris Wilkie. However, the numbers don't add up to very much. Oh, there's Monte Leon on a long pass on our near sideline. Foul on Demi Aikens now.
That's a team there now up to 22 fouls for the Ravens.
A lot of fouls, Ian.
That is a lot indeed. That is a lot.
Dare I say how many turnovers they have? 26.
They're up to 20. Yep, that is
26.
correct. 26 turnovers. They are 20 of 52 from the field, just right at 38% there.
Points off turnovers for Pace, 23.
23, and that's what's really giving them up close to their 20-point lead.
As
all those turnovers.
Scanlon will not make her first free throw attempt.
Kind of a lack of production all the way around for the Ravens, unfortunately. We had players like Freya Cooney so far, hasn't really answered the bell. She is 1 of 7. Lisa Solgermani, she's doing all right. She's 4 of 10. But just as we've seen a lot this season, just a lack of offense, and that's coming from plays such as turnovers and fouls. Hannah Martin will go in there.
Nope. Not going to get that basket.
Great
70 to 54 now.
Great interior defense by the setters.
Lauren Shetter spins and gets that too. Nice move by Lauren Shetter to get that basket. So 72 to 54 now. Pace with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. I think at this point, Franklin Pierce just wants to get out of this one and send it over to the men.
Yep, all likelihood the Ravens will most likely fall to 2-12 on the season. But some bright spots look here. I mean, they had some good energy in the first half of play from players like Sophia Holmes and
I can't
Izzy
fault them for
Lipinski.
that
No,
at
you
all.
can't. I know they came out with a lot of energy. They came out with the lead. They kept it close, reasonably close going into the second half of play. But it's just the second half has just been abysmal for them. Shooting
Killer.
from beyond the arc, free throw shooting. I mean, it's been rough all the way around. But they do have a couple of bright spots going forward, as we mentioned throughout this broadcast. They are a young team, a team that they can build. So.
They scored almost 20 points in this fourth quarter, but those 17 in the second and third combined.
That is not going to help your cause when you're giving up.
You get outscored 22-6 in a quarter. You are most likely going to lose a game.
22-11, 22-6.
So now, here comes Stephanie Shibota working against Lisa Solgermani. Paris Wilkie has returned to the game. Rivera, Stephanie Shibota working against Hannah Average. Nice little move right there. Can't get the bucket though as it bounces out. She'll get her own rebound. 53 seconds remaining. And a substitution timeout now for the Pace setters. Again, I give a lot of credit to Carrie Seymour and how she adjusted her team. Franklin Pierce was playing the long ball in the beginning. And then Pace forced Franklin Pierce to play small ball, and it worked in favor of Pace in terms of the turnovers, the points off turnovers, and the points in the paint.
There was also a matter of the substitutions that were made there in the second corner of play that kind of derailed what they had going.
Absolutely, threw off the momentum, I believe. However, that comes with only having 10 healthy bodies.
Yep.
For the Ravens.
This is a small, young team.
30 seconds now. Lisa Saljamani. It's a 16-point advantage for the pace setters. Lisa Saljamani trying to cut into that.
Another double team there.
Yep, double team on Lisa.
And another turnover for the Ravens, kind of
forced another turnover.
Ends the way they started this one.
Will Pace take a shot here?
I'd heavily doubt it. I hope not.
Jenna Scanlon.
No, run it out.
Will hold on to that ball. So there it is. Your final, another rough game at the Fieldhouse for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. The final score will be 72-56. A lot of emotion, a lot of heart left on the court by the Ravens, but unfortunately, it results in their 12th loss of the season. Gentlemen, first thoughts on what the Ravens could not do well enough in this game, Pat?
Handle the ball. Handle the ball and play smarter on the defensive end, personally.
Ian?
I think just a lot of inconsistency there out on the floor, especially in the second half of play. In the first half, as I said earlier, they kept it close, but kind of just fell apart in the second half of play. They shot themselves in the foot with the amount of turnovers they had. When it's all said and done, they had 27 turnovers, in which Pace had 23 points. They also had 23 fouls as well. They did get some contribution from the bench. That's one bright spot that the Ravens had going for them. They had 15 to Pace's 5.
Yep.
So they did have a couple bright spots. But as we said, kind of self-inflicted wounds was the reason they lost this one. However, they outscored Pace 19-13 in the fourth quarter of play, but it just was a little, too late.
Yep. The first and fourth quarter, Franklin Pierce was able to outscore Pace by a total of 39-28. However, that second and the third quarter getting outshot 22-6. So a 44-17 advantage for the pace setters ultimately doomed the Ravens as they lost 72-56. In this one, field goal percentage was 37%. You had your scoring leaders of Sophia Holmes at 19, Lisa Saljamani at 8, Riley Skinner 8, and then you had the pace setters with, again, double digits from their top 3 scorers, and then Lauren Hackett keying in as well with 11 points. And they got the biggest boost from their top 3 there. 24 for Delasanti, 18 for Shetter, and 10 for Monte Leon. We won't drag this out anymore. We thank you for listening to the Franklin Pierce Ravens women's basketball matchup against Pace. Again, a 72-56 loss, dropping the Ravens to 2-12 this season. We hope you'll join us for the men's basketball broadcast coming up. That should be a good one against Pace. We'll bring that to you shortly. Stay with us for that action in the Fieldhouse. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Once again to the Franklin Pierce Fieldhouse. We are 15 minutes away from men's basketball action as your Franklin Pierce Ravens get set to take on the Pace men's basketball setters. Said that out of order, but that's all right. Pace comes into this one 10-6 with a conference record of 4-4, riding a 2-game losing streak, while Franklin Pierce comes into it 7-8, a conference record of 3-5, and they are on a win streak of 1, having won their last game 75-56 against the Lemoyne Dolphins, the reigning NE10 conference champions. That was a big win for them as Dorian Fajutimi and Falou Sek combined for 22 and 41, so they combined for 43 total points. Gentlemen, Franklin Pierce this season with a shocking stat. I'll bring this out to you. Second most in points per game in the NE10 conference so far this season, behind only St. Anselm. That's amazing. 83.4 points per game. They're 13th in field goal percentage, 8th in three-point percentage, 9th in free throw percentage. Rebounds a game, they're 4th with 38.5, and assists per game, they are 3rd. In the conference, they are 14th with points per game, 77.9, so not quite as good, but overall they are second most, as I mentioned. And then second best in terms of turnovers forced per game was 17.5. As I mentioned, that big 75-66 win over Lemoyne. Before that, though, they were on a 1-4 run where they only had a win at Cheney University, but that was a 109-62 thrashing. So they scored the most points they had all season. Their big home win against Lemoyne this past Saturday, so that improved their home record to 2-4. We've notably talked about their struggles so far at the Fieldhouse this season. And before we get too far into any more statistics, I think we have a couple names right off the bat that we want to start with, Pat and Ian. Pat, why don't you give us the first one?
Falu Sek. In his most recent game, he had 22 points on 9 of 12 shooting, and 18 of those 22 came in the second half.
Ian?
And I think it's quite obvious the second player of that, too, is Doyen Vatachumi. I mean, he came up huge along with Falu Sek, specifically in that second half of play where the offense finally woke up. It seems like they were struggling on that 1-4 run. They couldn't really get their offense going. They struggled with turnovers a bit. However, in that second half of play against Lemoyne, they woke up. They were dominant against Lemoyne. They didn't have many turnovers, and players like Falu Sek and Doyen Vatachumi just went off. They took control of the game. Lemoyne cannot find any answers for them whatsoever. So I think the key in this game, I think we both know it, I think everyone else here know it, can a team like Pace stop players like Doyen Vatachumi and Falu Sek? And I am not sure if they can. However, Pace so far this year, they are 10-6. They are 4-4 in conference play.
Yep.
It's kind of odd. All those stats that you did rattle off, how they're second most, right behind St. A's. At they're under 500. They're at 7-8, but they had a huge win. I'm talking about a huge win, one that they desperately needed, coming at the tail end of the break here. So I think we'll see another great performance by those two in Doyen Vatachumi and Falu Sek.
Yeah, and Pace this season offensively, they're the 10th highest scoring team with 71.2, so not quite up there with the 83 points a game that we normally see from Franklin Pierce. Then you have 11th in field goal percentage and then 15th in three-point percentage. Defensively, they are the third best overall team with 67.6 points allowed. They are 3-3 away this season, having played just 6 away games and 10 home games comparatively. So 7-3 at home and 3-3 away. Conference play, they are an even 2-2 at home and on the road this season. And then, as you talked about, Doyen Vatachumi and Falu Sek. Doyen Vatachumi 9th in the NE10 in points per game with 18.1. An astonishing total points of 271, which is good for 14th in the NE10. He is second on the team in terms of three-point percentage and minutes per game played. And then Falu Sek, obviously 44th in total points, 208 in the NE10. Good for 22nd in points per game with 14.9. He leads the team in three-point percentage and minutes played per game. And then you have another player like Jeremy Arthur, who also got pretty hot in that last game against Lemoyne. He's third on the team in points per game with 9.7. Three-point percentage of 39.5, and minutes per game 22.2. So I think those big three right there, and Vatachumi, Falu Sek, and Jeremy Arthur will be key tonight. We also saw Brandon Kolek, the freshman, a couple games ago, manage a game-high 21 points, and Coach David Chadbourne started him in the last game against Lemoyne, against the Dolphins. So it'll be interesting to see how David Chadbourne can utilize him off the bench, I think, tonight, because I do believe you'll see Falu Sek start. He had that rough game against Roberts Wesleyan where he only had 2 points. And then after that, astonishing. This season so far, he's managed 13 games with 11-plus points. And that 2-point effort was really the only game where we really saw him struggle. Obviously, 11 points, not all that much sometimes, but still an accomplishment nonetheless that he has had 11-plus points in 13 of his 14 games this season. And then the aforementioned Doyen Vatachumi having 13 of his 15 games with 13-plus points, and the last 4, 17-plus points. So he has been the man for the Ravens so far this season. I saw him work all summer on it. Pace, though, they have a couple players that I believe can key in tonight, and they are Greg Polion, the senior forward from Brooklyn, New York, Peyton Weinart, the junior forward from Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and Brandon Jacobs from Cambria Heights, New York, a sophomore guard. A couple of these players, as I just mentioned, have been leading scorers for the team this season. in terms of statistics, Weinart is 12th in the NE10 in total points for 274. He is 11th, averaging 17.1 points per game. And then Jacobs is 20th in the NE10 with 257 total points, and he averages 16.1 per game, which is good for 14th. Greg Polian averages 12.9, and he's good for 30th. So they have 3 top scorers themselves.
I mean, if you're the Ravens, that's going to be tough to contend with. I mean, having players like that, multiple players like that, who can score on an instant, really can score on the spot, that's going to be hard to defend. And one of those players that you mentioned was Brandon Jacobs. He is the second leading scorer on this team, but one thing that you can really zone in on if you're the Ravens, pressure Jacobs, because right now he leads the team in turnovers. He has 61 turnovers on the team so far on this season. So I think if you want to get to a player, you have to get to a player like Brandon Jacobs, who is the leading scorer. But if you pressure him, you put a couple double teams on him, that could really help. And we saw that in the previous game against Lemoyne in the second half of play. The Ravens instituted the double team kind of strategy there against Lemoyne, and it worked. I mean, you saw a lot of players get confused by that, a lot of confused passes, a lot of errant passes by Lemoyne. So if they do that same thing, try to implement maybe if the full court press that seems to work for them, it's worked for them in the past, and employing double teams that could maybe slow down those top scorers that they have on pace.
Yep, and this season, in the last 3 games, you have gone 2-3 with the wins at Cheney and the win versus Lemoyne. And in those 2 wins, you had 21 total turnovers, so just about 10.5 turnovers a game. That's a pretty impressive margin for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. They've cut it down. They've found something that works. Their loss at Roberts Wesleyan was only by 5 points, so I think they're hitting a little bit of their stride here. Couldn't come at a better time, as obviously you have the tougher competition coming in. Today, obviously, Pace at 10-6. And then here at home, so far, the struggles have been pronounced for the Ravens. We've mentioned it, 2-4 this season. Shooting percentage from the field of 41.4, which is better than their 2 neutral games, but not much better than their away games. 3-point percentage, 33.7, which is almost 5% less than away. When you are on the road, you are shooting better from the 3-point line. Free throw percentage, you are shooting better at home. Rebounds, you have 34.3 average a game, which is less by 7 rebounds than on the road and at neutral sites. You're also averaging less assists at home and less turnovers at home. Less turnovers at home is a good thing. That's something you want to see. Points at home, though, you're also averaging less points at home with 76.2 compared to 90.9 on the road. I mean, what can David Chadbourne do to flip that script here at the Fieldhouse, Pat?
I mean, Franklin Pierce gets most of their points from beyond the arc. In going back to that last game with Doyen had 21 and Sek had 22, they both shot over 40% from 3 within that game.
Yep. And obviously David Chadbourne entering his 20th season. He's had 10 winning seasons, including 7 straight. So, currently the Ravens are 1 game away from being a 500 team. If they can get this victory here today, it would be key, as conference opponents are really the theme from here on out. We're going to be seeing a lot more of conference opponents. You're going to see Pace tonight, then a 3-game road streak at St. Rose, at Southern Connecticut State, at Adelphi before they return here on January 30th against New Haven. And then they'll have another matchup February 2nd against American International. Conference-wise, we've already mentioned they sit at 3-5, 7-8. They are behind Stonehill, Merrimack, Southern New Hampshire University, Bentley, and St. Anselm. So it's a struggle to climb back up. Not like they can't do it. Not like they can't get themselves in postseason position, especially if they beat these teams that we previously mentioned, like New Haven and Adelphi and Southern New Hampshire University. Southern New Hampshire really only 9-5, so a worse mark than Pace currently. But still a lot of opportunity. I think we're going to roll through the starting lineups real quick for you. You're going to see Doyen Fadjutimi and Falou Sek in there, along with Jeremy Arthur, Lalami Lola Charles, and you should also see either Brandon Kolek or Isaiah Moore, the freshman, come in for the Ravens as well. Then for the pace setters, I expect Austin Gilbertson, the sophomore guard from Edders, Pennsylvania, Tyrone Cohen Jr., the junior guard from Woodside, New York, and then the previously mentioned Brandon Jacobs, Greg Polian, and Peyton Weinhardt. So it should be a fun matchup tonight. Offensively, I think we're going to get a lot of points on the board. As I mentioned, I believe Pace does have a little bit of the upper hand in terms of defense, allowing just the third least amount of points so far this season. And then the aforementioned 3 top scorers that the Pace setters have, along with Austin Gilbertson and Tyrone Cohen Jr., who have been second and third in a couple of key stats for the Pace setters so far this season, including average minute times on the floor. They're coming off a 76-67 loss to Merrimack, in which they scored obviously just the 67 points. They had 3-point percentage of just 25%, only shooting 4 of 16 from beyond the arc. Obviously, Franklin Pierce had themselves a hot game against the Lemoyne Dolphins last game. And then the field goal percentage of just 41.7 in their last game. And then they bring in Matt Healing, who is entering his 4th season at the helm of the Setters. Not so much to speak of so far, but he's done a nice job so far coaching the Pace Setters. And I do expect, as I said, a lot of offense in this one. Gentlemen, who do you think wins today and why?
No bias intended, but I'm gonna lean towards the Ravens.
Oh, what a surprise! There. Wow, really?
Be honest.
Ravens have pace beat in points per game, in 3-point percentage. Franklin Pierce shoots 36% from 3, as Pace shoots only 27.
Yep.
Franklin Pierce has them beat out with more steals and more blocks per game. Franklin Pierce is also coming off of that huge win, and Pace
momentum-building win. Yep.
Yeah, and Pace is coming off of a 2-game losing streak.
Yep.
And I don't mean to be a homer here by any stretch, but I think I'm going to agree with you, Pat. I think I like the Ravens here in this matchup because of that double-headed dragon that they have with Fatachumi and Falou Sek. And actually, in the past 4 meetings between these two teams, the Ravens have come up on top 3 of those occasions.
Wow.
Well, and especially here, they're going to need it at home, where unfortunately they struggled. They're 2-4. However, they have an opportunity here for the first time in the season to get to that 500 mark, and they're especially going to need that going as they have a long road trip after that. So I think I'm going to go with the Ravens, and I think it's because of the play of Falou Sek and Dorian Fatachumi. However, if the Pace setters can limit those two, kind of keep those two under wraps, I don't know. Pace might have a chance, but if those two go off, I'm picking the Ravens here.
All right, we're going to get to the action now in 30 seconds. We'll be right there for you. Let's get it going.
Let's lower it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Franklin Pierce University in the Northeast Penn
Lowering it for you.
NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and
All right, so as we get set for tip-off, we already have a little bit of a change as Brandon Kolek will be in for Falou Sek in the starting lineup. So David Chadbourne electing to go with the freshman as Falou Sek struggled 2 games ago but then picked himself up nicely in that last game against Lemoyne. Bit of a surprise there.
I'm not entirely against that move done by the head coach. I mean, you put a freshman who's kind of been doing well. As you said, he had a season-high 21 points a couple games ago. So, I mean, go with him, go with the hot hand right now.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Falou Sek, who will come in and do his thing like he's done in previous games against
Off the
Lemoyne.
bench, yep. I think that is a decent move right there as we see Brandon Kolek starting this one. Dorian Fajutimi with some early pressure. Forced almost a steal, but it goes out of bounds. Pace will retain possession in this first period of play, this first half,
I like
should
that.
say.
Even though that went to Pace, that's some good intensity by Dorian Fajutimi there.
And he always brings the intensity now, as you have seen that all season long from Dorian Fajutimi. As we get you caught up on the action here. A pass from Greg Polian into Peyton Weinhardt goes out of bounds, so the Ravens will now retain possession. One thing to watch for, we talked about obviously how the Ravens are the second most points offensively, second best offense, but so far they have allowed 79.5 points per game this season, which is pretty high. It's just 4 points better than their average points a game scored. So there is a blown up play. Nice job by Dorian Fajutimi. What looked like was going to be an easy basket for Greg Polian.
Dorian did a great job hustling up to that one, making sure he didn't get that easy bucket.
Yeah, a long pass. Polian was left unchecked underneath the basket. However, Dorian rushed in and caused the ball to go out of bounds. Small discussion here amongst the refs. So it's 2-0 Ravens.
Dorian got those first points when he was doubled up there.
So Dorian already with a couple of points in this one.
As to no one's surprise there.
Of course not. Jeremy Arthur will be another one that I think we're going to have to look for in this game. He had a couple of threes in that last game. And
I think Jeremy Arthur was the one who really got him going there in the first half of play. He got those few crucial threes that kind of got their offense going. They were behind early in that one. Then Arthur got some big threes there to kind of wake them up.
Whenever Dorian and Falou start getting going, this offense becomes a very dangerous machine.
Oh, yeah. Dynamic duo.
The Ravens really start to fly when those two are on the court. And now here we are with Austin Gilbertson. He gets it over to Brandon Jacobs. And then Brandon Jacobs gets it to Weinhardt. Weinhardt gets a tough basket underneath. Junior is the leading scorer for the Pace Setters so far.
He's going to have a chance for a three-point play on the foul.
He does.
Yeah, he'll be at the stripe where he is a lot of the times. Right here, he will be shooting his 145th and 6th free throw of the season.
So Franklin Pierce with a good chance today to really prove something after beating the reigning NE10 champion Lemoyne Dolphins here at the Fieldhouse on Saturday. They have another good opponent coming in today.
And that is saying a lot. I mean, they knocked out the reigning champs from last year, but however, they came into that game, they were struggling as well. However, they took advantage
Isaiah
of their
Moore with a
struggles.
deep three. That was an incredible tray. Isaiah Moore was a couple steps behind the three-point line, and he sunk that one with ease. So 5-3, Franklin Pierce. And now we're going to see Tyrone Cohen Jr. drive up the lane. He'll get his own. Almost lost the ball, but he'll keep possession and tie this game. Isaiah Moore now. Gets it over to Dorian Fajutimi, way over on the other side of the field. He'll try and get it in. Jeremy Arthur from beyond the 3, who sends it way over to Isaiah Moore.
Seeing some long, dangerous passes here by the Ravens.
Long, dangerous passes indeed. A foul is called now on Brandon Jacobs. We've already seen our first substitution as Jamison Pierrelis has come in for the Ravens. Dorian Fajutimi now working, gets it over to Isaiah Moore, who will drive. Oh, Jeremy Arthur with a wide open 3 look.
That was a great pass by Isaiah Moore. He was crushing in, running in on the paint. Made a quick, slick pass over
I
to
believe
Jeremy
they called
Arthur.
a travel, though.
Yeah,
They did?
I think
Oh.
when he went to go catch it, he wanted to step into the shot, but he took one too many steps.
Yep. So Jeremy Arthur called for the travel.
After what was a beautiful pass by Moore.
Yeah, it was. Now Paul Weinhardt gets it back over to Brandon Jacobs.
Definitely has a height advantage over anyone on the court right now.
He does. A little bit of a skinnier player, though. So maybe not as muscly down in the paint. He gets double teamed by Jeremy Arthur and Jamison Pierrelis. And then the travel is called on Paul Weinhardt.
So the big man out there standing up at 6'7", only 210 pounds. So
Indeed.
he's
Lower time, lower. Lower time, lower.
So Jeremy Arthur now gets it over to Isaiah Moore. They're passing across the field rather dangerously. Brandon Kolek with a deep 3.
another beautiful pass by Isaiah Moore.
Yeah, and then Brandon Kolek drains the tray. That was a nice shot by the freshman.
It's your freshman getting things going right now. With
It
both
is.
Moore and
Isaiah Moore with a key steal now.
Isaiah Moore, he's doing it all right now.
He is.
Did he? Oh, Isaiah Moore as he collides
Wow.
in with his teammate there.
Jamison Pierrelis caught him on the way down. I'm surprised that Isaiah Moore did not dish that ball to Brandon Kolek. Instead, he went up for the hard layup, gets it to go, and it looks like a chance for a 3-point play now. Isaiah Moore.
I mean, Isaiah Moore, he saw two pace defenders right there. It's like, I'll
I
take
was
this
going to say
myself.
he had the numbers. He could have dished it off to Kolek, who may have gotten an easy 2, but instead he took the hard layup.
Yeah,
He'll get a chance for 3 points, and he makes it count. So 11-5 now. Jeremy Arthur tried to hustle to steal that ball from Tyrone Cohen.
Isaiah Moore, he is all over the court.
He will knock that ball out of bounds. However, Pace will retain possession as Jacobs will inbound it.
And what you see here is Franklin Pierce is doing a better job on the half-court press than Pace is.
Yep.
And that's just forcing these bad passes and stepping into the
Good
right lane at
defense
the
by
right time.
Jamison Pierrelis on Paul Weinhardt. The screen, though, set up for Brandon Jacobs. He'll step back and take a 3. Miss it, though. Brandon Kolek on the rebound sends it over to Isaiah Moore. And now Moore quickly down the court. Tries to do a back pass to Kolek, who lost it momentarily, but gets it. Jeremy Arthur with a deep 3. That one was a little too much off the mark. Now Paul Weinhardt down the court. He'll take a 3. Wide open look, doesn't get it to go. Brandon Kolek on the rebound. Looking for help, gets it over to Moore. Moore, nice little fake. Almost lost it, but he'll get it to Jeremy Arthur, who sends it to Doyen. And then Jamison Pierrelis with a step back 2, can't get that one to go. So a couple of missed shots now by the Franklin Pierce Ravens.
Seeing some great ball movement by the Ravens. Not a whole lot of mistakes so far in the early going.
There is a jumper by Austin Gilbertson. Nice shot from the sophomore. Makes it 11-7. We see Sean Fasoyiro and Falou Sek ready to sub in for the Ravens. Here comes Jeremy Arthur and Brandon Kolek. Kolek sends it back to Pierrelis. And now Pierrelis pushed out. So the Ravens got off to a bit of a fast start. Starting to slow down, though.
Cooling just a little bit, but right now I'm loving the play of the freshmen, Isaiah Moore and Brandon Kolek, who are leading the way in points so far. Moore, who has 6.
Here comes
Kolek, who has
Gilbertson
3.
quickly down the court. I believe he traveled. And Pace coach
Not happy with that call whatsoever.
not happy at all. He said that his player got pushed on the drive. That is that's Matt Healing. Sam Van Oostrum is in the game now. Falusek as well. Falusek on a drive. Ooh, dangerous pass over the head of Jamison Pierlis to Sean Fasoyero. Set up a screen for Doyen, but he won't get that one. He fell down on the three-point shot attempt. Brandon Jacobs quickly down the court. He will not get it, but a rebound. And here comes Austin Gilbertson with a three.
I'm not sure if
Wide open look. Falusek left him open there.
I'm not
11
sure
to
if
10.
If Doyen got a piece of that on that layup, I'm not sure.
I think he did. I think he got a small piece of that redirected that ball out of the.
Here comes Sam Van Oostrum. He'll get it into Jamison Pierlis, who banks it off the backboard and in.
Great passing by Van Oostrum, and that's your assist leader so far coming into this one on the season.
Oh, and here, Greg Polion. Wow.
Slam it down.
That was Martin Mann, number 22. Brought it home for the Pace Setters, 13-12. Here's Sean Fasoyero. Nice pass into Jamison Pierlis, and he'll get the 2 points easily.
Looked like Sean Fasoyero was trying to go up with that one, but at last minute made a pass there. Good decision. Ravens now lead 15-12.
And Brandon Jacobs working against Jamison Pierlis now. Austin Gilbertson on the other side with Falusek. There's Mann again. Sam Van Oostrum on him. Tried to set up a screen. Austin Gilbertson gets it over to Brandon Jacobs. Ooh, nice pass in deep to Martin Mann. Another 2 points.
Almost got another slam dunk there.
Almost. So Martin Mann with a couple points there. Here's Fasoyero over to Doyen. And then Falusek. Step back three.
Well contested.
Not that time. Oh, quickly down the court is Austin Gilbertson. He will get the bucket. Doyen was left alone to defend both Gilbertson and Tyrone Cohen Jr. That's just disaster waiting to happen there.
And David Chadbourne wants to take a break.
He does, 16-15. Started off nicely with an 11-5 lead, and since then, it's 11-4 in favor of the Pace Setters. Some good action, though, here at the beginning. We've seen Isaiah Moore bang some home for the Ravens. And Austin Gilbertson and Martin Mann have keyed a run here by the Pace Setters.
When the Pace Setters were down there, you kind of saw an adjustment in their passing. You saw beforehand they were kind of take long, dangerous passes, and you had players like Isaiah Moore who were just tearing you apart, getting steals, creating turnovers.
Yep.
So they adjusted there. They started making smaller, more safer passes, and that's what brought them back into this one.
And here comes Gerard Gray into this game. Been a while since I've seen the senior in game action, but he will step in.
I'm going to assume he was brought in for not only height, but for a paint presence.
Gerard Gray so far in the season just has 61 minutes.
And a foul on Gerard there.
Slice two. Good. Strong with it. Good.
Here goes Brandon Jacobs. Pass in deep. Wow, nice pass there by Greg Polion. He found number 14, Christopher Matthews. Then a deep three there by Tyrone Cohen Jr. Can't get that one to go.
Doyen,
Quickly down the court, but can't get that. The layup just missed. Yeah, as you mentioned, Gerard Gray has played in 10 games this season, but not a lot of minutes. He averages about 6 minutes a game. Good to see him on the court, though.
Definitely.
He's a tall body.
Yeah, you want to get, especially in your senior year, to get as many minutes as possible.
And a late whistle on what seemed to be a block.
So they'll call a foul on Sam Van Oostrum there. That'll send Christopher Matthews to the line for the Pace Setters. So some trouble here as the early run is now evaporated for Franklin Pierce, and it is a 16-15 lead. However, Matthews will miss his first. Here comes David Bradbury Jr. and Paul Weinhardt in, respectively, for their teams.
Christopher Matthews doesn't have much experience this year on the going to the line. He's now 1 of 5 after that attempt.
Yep. And Matthews is a freshman. One of just 4, on the Pace Setters roster. Christopher Matthews, and then Martin Mann is also another one. Sam Van Oostrum can't get that layup. So 17-15, 2-point Pace lead.
Early on, the Ravens are putting in that double team that worked earlier, caused the turnover. Tried it again there.
David Bradbury Jr. is in this game, and he will defend Brandon Jacobs. Whoa.
For the alley-oop.
Yeah, tried to get Martin Mann on the alley-oop. David Bradbury Jr. now with a missed layup opportunity. He was ahead of the whole entire Pace defense, but the long pass just a little too much, and he couldn't set his feet before making the layup. Paul Weinhardt will put it in for the Pace Setters, though, on a nice pass by Brandon Jacobs in the lane, in the paint. Isaiah Moore waiting to get back on the court. Oh, a steal now.
Created by Sam
Quickly
Van
down the
Oostrum.
court, Christopher Matthews over to Tyrone Cohen Jr. He'll lay it in.
That is Van Oostrom's one struggle that he has. He's great getting assists. He can come in to get some points when he need him to, but that is his one area where he lacks is creating turnovers, which he did there. That'll extend Pace's lead to 6 now at 21-15.
Indeed. So 21-15, Pace takes a 6-point lead after that 11-5 run by Franco Pierce to start this game. It has been all Pace, 16-4 since
That early run that the Ravens had. Don't have too many turnovers on each side. Pace with 5.
No,
the
but
Ravens
Gilbertson,
with 4.
Weinhardt, and Martin Mann have all made some pretty nice plays for Pace in the paint.
They have. You have Gilbertson, who's 3 of 4 from the field, 1 for 1 from beyond the arc, and 7 total points.
Yep.
Peyton Weinhardt right behind him, 2 of 3, 0 of 1 from three-point land. He has 5 total points. And you still have Isaiah Moore for the Ravens leading the way with 6 points. So far, this one is still a close game, anyone's game here in the first half of play.
Of course. And Falusek and Doyen Fajatimi really have yet to get going. Doyen with just 2 points. Plenty of time in this game, however.
Isaiah Moore will come back onto the floor now.
Saw Falusek miss that 3 early on. Hasn't taken a shot since then. Want to get him going in this game. Now Jeremy Arthur gets it over to Isaiah Moore, who will dribble down court. Trying to get fancy on Brandon Jacobs. Jeremy Arthur was left wide open. He will drain a 3. So 21-18, 3-point game all of a sudden. Nice job by Jeremy Arthur right there. He was left wide open, and he finally didn't at first take the look, sent back to him, and he finally took it, drains it.
Martin Mann had the coverage on him. Surprised he didn't go up to him sooner when he had that first opportunity where he's wide open. Gets the ball again.
Isaiah Moore playing close to the vest on Brandon Jacobs. He will force a miss. That was a nice job by Isaiah Moore. Sean Fasayiro gets it over to Moore now, and Moore gets it back to Jeremy Arthur, who almost took a 3. David Bradbury Jr. will take a 3, won't get it though. Had a nice open look in the corner, but he will not drain that one.
Isaiah Moore may not have the height, but however, he has all the heart and a lot of energy every time he comes out onto the court.
A lot of energy. Now the Ravens would do well to get a stop here. Here comes Christopher Matthews. Good changing defense. Bradbury Jr. jumped the gun a little bit. Unfortunately, fouled Brandon Jacobs. That was a tough foul.
He tried his best to pull up to try and create a steal there, get a turnover going the other way. Just couldn't pull up in time.
Yeah, he jumped the gun. Definitely was trying to just get the steal, but unfortunately did not work out for him. Christopher Mann will get the ball. He'll get it back to Brandon Jacobs.
Spread one.
Matt Healing trying to set his team up. our near sideline. Here comes Christopher Mann again. He'll get it over to Gilbertson. Gilbertson with a deep three. Won't get that one, but Christopher Mann gets the rebound. He'll put it... No, he will not get that one, but another rebound by the Pace Setters. Austin Gilbertson.
Got to deny those
Paul
second
Weinhardt
chance
will not get
opportunities.
that one either. So, Ravens playing well defensively. Got a couple lucky breaks there. Jeremy Arthur now won't get that one to go. He gets his own rebound, then it goes out, and now Pace will get the ball.
We saw a similar floater like that from Jeremy Arthur last game out when it looked like he was going for the alley-oop on that one to Doyne last game.
Yep.
But it just fell right in. It looked like that was about to be the similar case here, just a little wide.
Slightly lied. Jeremy Arthur was looking for it there, just couldn't get it. Now Gilbertson to inbound it. Good pressure by Fajutimi and Isaiah Moore there, but Gilbertson now driving down the court. A travel correctly called there as Gilbertson took a few steps without dribbling, so nice call. Best travel call I've seen in a while.
Best one indeed.
Isaiah Moore now trying to set up a screen with Jeremy Arthur. That won't go. Brandon Kolek now over to Jeremy Arthur. Luke McLaughlin has subbed in for the Pacers. Jeremy Arthur takes a deep two. He'll drain it, 21-20. So Franklin Pierce back within one after being down by 6.
Jeremy Arthur had his man fall down there.
Ray Montelis has also come in for the Pace Setters, number 11. Paul Weinhardt gets the ball. And there comes McLaughlin. Gilbertson gets it to Montelis. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Good pressure put on by the Ravens defense.
We're going to have a jump ball now.
You will.
Still a close game. Pace leading by 1 point at 21-20.
Oh, so they will give the ball to Franklin Pierce.
Oh, it looked like we made a jump ball situation, but they decided to give it to Jeremy Arthur.
Isaiah Moore now will work it down court. 21-20 is your score. And a great take there by number 35, Connor Cullen, the freshman out of Ankeny, Iowa. He's played more as of late. Saw some action in that last game against Lemoyne. Seeing some action early here, he has a chance for a three-point play.
Connor Cullen has been in 12 games, started one of them, averaging 7.6 minutes a game.
David Chadbourne trying to utilize his freshmen and his sophomores to the best of their ability, along with the juniors and seniors that he has on this team. A good mix of leadership and youth. Here comes Austin Gilbertson. And then Montelis will send it over to McLaughlin, who sends it back to Brandon Jacobs. With Isaiah Moore working on him, McLaughlin had an open three look for a second. Nice tip by Doyne Fajutimi. Montelis will send it in for a missed three-point attempt. Brandon Kolek on the defensive rebound. Here come the Ravens. Brandon Kolek traveled.
I think our head coach, David Chadbourne, he does a great job integrating both youth and the older guys, because that's what you want to do. You kind of want to develop the freshmen and sophomores that you have out there.
He does indeed, and you know, obviously a little bit of struggles so far for the Ravens. They've had 7 straight winning seasons, but this season 7 and 8 they sit at right now. Chance to establish themselves though. Cullen. And Cullen with a strip, but Pace gets it back. Nice hustle by McLaughlin there. Luke McLaughlin for the Pace Setters. Got the ball back. So 22-21 now, and a timeout has been called. 6 minutes, 56 seconds remaining, 22-21. Pat, what have you noticed so far in this game?
I've noticed the one thing with Pace is that they aren't the best shooting team, but they have a lot of length, a lot of height. So most
a lot
of
of
their
points in the paint
are going to be coming in the paint.
Yep,
Exactly.
14 of their 21 points in the paint so far. So that's a stat definitely that backs up what you were just saying. Franklin Pierce shooting 50% from the field so far.
I think the one thing that Pace is good at is their presence at the board. So far they have 14 total rebounds opposed to Franklin Pierce's 7.
Good, solid, good. Good.
Have a lot of second chance opportunities. They have 5 offensive rebounds.
That time, they will call an offensive foul on McLaughlin, who tried to set up a screen.
Both teams shooting right near 50%. Franklin Pierce 9 of 18, while Pace is 9 of 20. They're at 45% right now.
Franklin Pierce with 3 3-point shots made, and then Pace with just 1. Jeremy Arthur gets it over to Isaiah Moore. Briefly had a look.
Isaiah
Wow,
Moore
Isaiah Moore with a tough basket.
Beautiful take.
got banged on the way up, too. Now he has a chance for a three-point play.
And Jeremy Arthur pulling on a move I like. He did the old feed the Zeke for Isaiah Moore there.
Isaiah Moore with a beautiful catch, pump fake around the first defender.
And he got the bucket to
Got
go.
right
He makes it
into
a
the
three-point play, 25-21. Franklin Pierce back in the lead by 4.
Now Isaiah Moore leading the way in points, still at 9 now.
That is true. Brandon Kolek gets called for a foul now.
Two of the guys who expected to have a pretty good game, all three of us called it. Dorian Vetachumi so far only had 2 points, while Falusek is looking for his first points of the game. He's 0 for 1 right now, but still getting great production from the young guys like Isaiah Moore, Brandon Kolek as well. And you have Jeremy Arthur, who's kind of picking up the slack here, on which
And now here is Tyrone Cohen Jr. missing a free throw attempt. Isaiah Moore will work it down the court. Dorian Fajutimi gets the ball. He will take, I think what would have been a 2.
very deep 2 in that.
And he misses, though. And now Brandon Jacobs, Luke McLaughlin tried to set up the screen. Brandon Jacobs will get it back to Gilbertson rather awkwardly. Ooh, nice pass in, but an air ball put up by Greg Polion. Now Doyen, Fajutimi sends it over to Brandon Kolek. Now Kolek to Cullen to Jeremy Arthur, who pulled up. Travel call. Oh no, apologies, that was a foul. Luke McLaughlin fouled Jeremy Arthur on his way to the basket. So unfortunately he did not take the shot, so I don't believe there will be free throws this time.
Came close to it, just came a little early on the push. That came from McClellan.
Now Jamison Pierlis and Falusek have checked back into this game.
And who's going to go to the line here? It's going to be Isaiah Moore.
Yep, Isaiah will inbound it for the Ravens. Here's Dorian with a deep 3. No, not that time. Fight for the ball should go to Pace, as Greg Polian and Jamison Pierlis were all over it, but Polian had it first, and they will give possession to Pace.
In some games, the three-point game can be Dorian Fatumi's bread and butter there, but so far he's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc.
0 for 2, Falusek. Also 0 for 1 from beyond the arc, so 0 for 3 from your 2 stars. They will need to get going here, as there's only 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Not a lot so far from the Pacers, the Pace setters. Peyton Weinhardt, one of their top scorers this season, has 5 points.
Getting a lot of production from Gilbert Sid leading the way with 7.
And there is a point, is a basket scored by Brandon Jacobs. That'll be his first of this game.
Started out the night 0 for 3, finally gets his first there.
Falusek. Isaiah Moore now. He'll get it to Falusek, who's wide open for a 3, and he hits it. So Falusek with his first 3 of the night, electrifying the crowd, 28-23.
That was just bound to happen at some point.
Oh, it was. It's a pretty safe bet.
Ravens now with a 5-point lead up, 28-23.
Good first half of action here as Franklin Pierce leads it. But Pace is right on their heels. Brandon Jacobs gets it over to Greg Polian, who pulls up for a 3, doesn't get it. And a foul is called on Connor Cullen.
Young freshman got caught for pushing there.
And Cullen will come out. And Jeremy Arthur and Sam Van Oostrom will come in as Cullen and Isaiah Moore will sit. Paul Weinhardt will shoot a free throw. And he'll make that one. So he makes the first. It's 28-24. Raven lead. And now Paul Weinhardt will sink his second shot as well. So 28-25, 3-point Raven lead. Sam Van Oostrom back in to direct the Raven offense. Gets it over to Jeremy Arthur. Then I believe
He's going to get fouled on the play, I'm pretty sure. Both teams so far not making a lot of mental mistakes. It's a good, clean game so far at 28-25 with the Ravens lead. Both teams are sinking their free throws. Pace is 4 of 5, shooting at 80%, while Ravens come in 2 of 3 for right now at 66%. However, Arthur can improve that here. Neither team's really turning over the ball a lot either.
there's the first one made by Jeremy Arthur. Isaiah Moore and Jeremy Arthur have keyed this Ravens team so far. Moore with 9 points. He will miss his second free throw attempt, however, so 29-25. 4-point lead for Franklin Pierce. Sam Van Oostrom and Doyen Fadujutimi double-teamed Brandon Jacobs, did not pay off. Now Paul Weinhardt quickly down the court, underneath, gets the bucket. Chance for a 3-point play for Pace.
Pace not letting the Ravens extend their lead whatsoever. I mean, the Ravens are trying to get out. They had a 5-point lead just a second ago. They've been leading this entire quarter, but Pace is keeping it close.
Now Paul Weinhardt back to the line for the setters. Christopher Matthews will sub in for Pace. Oh, and there's Weinhardt hitting it. So he does make a 3-point play. And 29-28 is your score. Ravens up by 1. Jeremy Arthur now. Sam Van Oostrom. Gets it to Falou Sek, who almost lost it. Jamison Pierrelis now.
Good job by Sek controlling that one.
Jamison Pierrelis left wide open for a 3, but he will not get it. Sam Van Oostrom on the offensive rebound. Jeremy Arthur gets it back to Van Oostrom. Van Oostrom now gets it to Falou Sek. Gets it back to Jeremy Arthur. Gets it to Doyen Fadujutimi with a deep 2. He will not get that one. Sam Van Oostrom, a nice rebound.
Another
Jeremy
rebound.
Arthur, in and out 3. Falou Sek, nice rebound. Falou Sek over to Doyen.
Doyen,
with a slam. Doyen with a slam. Falou Sek sent it straight into Doyen, and Doyen laid the wood there. 31-28 is your score. 3-point Ravens lead.
They got 4 extra opportunities there. Pace could not come away with a rebound whatsoever, and Doyen making them pay.
Yeah, that was incredible. Ian and I will be on this call for the next 3 minutes as Pat will step away to go do the get ready for the halftime interview that we bring to you here at the Fieldhouse with Coach David Chadbourne.
Andrew, you got to love what we're seeing by the Ravens right now. So far, they're playing
Electric.
mistake-free basketball.
It's
and
electric.
They are taking advantage of Pace's misfortunes when it comes to the boards. I mean, we had, as I just said, 4 extra opportunities that the Ravens had. They took advantage of them. So far, it's leading the way in points. Isaiah Moore still with 9. Jeremy Arthur right behind him with 6. Doyen, 2 of 7. Kind of not what we're used to seeing, but still had that big slam dunk just a second ago.
Huge.
0 of 3 from beyond the arc. He has 4
slam
points.
dunk. So Peyton Weinhardt, who is the leading scorer for the Pace Setters this season, is once again doing his thing. 10 points in this one. However, Brandon Jacobs and Greg Polian have been limited to just 4 points combined in this one.
Surprised to see Brandon Jacobs. He seems to be struggling. He's 1 of 4, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. That's your second leading scorer on the team for the pace setters.
Yep. Austin Gilbertson, though, is also helping Paul Weinhardt carry the team, combining for 17 of their 28 points. Paul Weinhardt is once again going to the free throw line.
He's been there a lot today.
He has been there a lot today so far in this game.
That is his first miss. Now 4 or 5 from at the free throw line. Martin Mann not too far behind him in terms of points with 4. He had that big slam dunk to start out the game. Kind of gave the pace setter some energy, but Doyen
just electrified the crowd, the bench, the sideline. And there's Paul Weinhardt getting the second one, so 31-29 now. Jeremy Arthur with a deep 3, but that's way off the mark. Way off the mark.
Hey, swing! What?
Brandon Jacobs setting the offense, trying to find Weinhardt. Can't do so. But, the shot was put up, but not enough on it. Now Jeremy Arthur pushing quickly down the court to Falou Sek. He'll take a 3. Not going to drain that one, though. Good look. However, it bounced in and out. Coach Healing is trying to get his offense down the court quickly. Paul Weinhardt with an offensive foul. Weinhardt just too much. He attacked too hard, and the Ravens will have that call go their way. Gerard Gray is checked back into this game for the Ravens. Still looking for some more consistent production from Falou and Doyen in this game, but
I think that'll come soon, though.
I was going to say,
you have
still
to
have a whole half.
Still have a whole half to play. I believe the production and consistency will come soon.
Here's Falou now with a tough take, and he gets it.
Or maybe it might come right now. A tough contested shot by Falou Sek.
That was a great take up the middle in the paint, 33-29. That's the best part of Falou and Doyen is they not only get it from beyond the arc, they can make it happen in the paint with a little shake and bake. Gerard Gray on the defensive rebound as the ball went out. And then Sam Van Oostrom over to Doyen Fajutimi, but a travel.
He's going to get a travel called on Van Oostrom there.
Van Oostrom's got to cut down on his travel calls. I've seen that a lot lately.
Yeah, definitely in the past couple of games, a lot of travel calls for Van Oostrom, and he's also has struggled, as previously said, with turnovers as well.
Yep. So now Tyrone Cohen gets it into Brandon Jacobs. Less than 2 minutes remain in this half. They get it into Greg Polian. Double teamed very well. Oh, Sam Van Oostrom with a steal. Travel.
Gonna get.
Nope, foul. Tyrone Cohen Jr. fouled Sam Van Oostrom after Van Oostrom took it away from number 21, Greg Polian. Greg Polian, their third leading scorer this season, the pace setters, and he only has 2 points in this game.
Van Oostrom thought he had another travel call on him. He was looking around like, no, I didn't do that.
Instead, it was a foul, and now he is at the line to shoot 2. He gets the first. 34-29 now. And he'll get the second one. So 35-29. It is a 6-point Ravens lead. Love the way the Ravens have come out with their intensity so far in this game, getting contributions from Isaiah Moore, Jeremy Arthur, Falou Sek, and Doyen Fajutimi.
Another call on Greg Polian.
Yep, Greg Polian struggling here in these final couple of minutes. Looks like there will be a substitution as Ray Montelis will come in for Polian. Smart substitution by Matt Healing there.
Thank you.
Sam Van Oostrom now keying the Ravens down court. Montelis working hard against him. A pass. Gerard
got
Gray
lucky.
able to get it. He will get his own rebound, and he got blocked. He got blocked by number 22, Martin Mann. So Gerard Gray had a chance for 2 there, but could not capitalize. As Martin Mann made a nice block, stuffed him.
Great by Gray there to get that ball back. He captured his own rebound, tried to go up with it, but man stuffed him there, couldn't go anywhere with it.
And now Christopher Matthews to shoot 2 after the foul. Both teams with 10 fouls so far. Christopher Matthews makes his first, misses his second, so 35-30 your score. Here comes Falou Sek.
See if he can get anything going.
Over to Sam Van Oostrum, but Doyen was called for the foul there, so Thaddeus Jatimi gets called on a tough foul. 1:04 remaining in this first half.
Starting to see the fouls pile up for both sides. However, Franklin Pierce is unfortunately leading in that category with 12 and Pace with 9.
Now Ray Montelis will get it over to Martin Mann, excuse me. We'll get it over to Christopher Matthews. Brandon Jacobs with the ball, working against Sam Van Oostrum. Nice spin move.
Ooh.
Brandon Jacobs, the smaller man there, with a nice spin move on Sam Van Oostrum. Sean Fasoyiro. So possession will remain with Franklin Pierce on the jump ball. Gerard Gray did a nice job fighting for it.
As we've seen before, great intensity helping out here.
Sam Van Oostrum really trying to get something going. Falou Sek looking for any sort of lane. Can't find it. He was triple teamed. Falou Sek was triple teamed right there.
If you're a player like Falou Sek, who second in team and leading with points, you're going to have situations like that where you might endure that rare triple team.
I mean, there was just no help offensively for him, though, either.
Falou Sek over to Gray.
Gerard
Yes.
Gray, nice. After a Falou Sek pass underneath, Gerard Gray will put it in for a 37-32 5-point Ravens lead. 10 seconds remain in this first half. Pace looking for the last shot. It will be a 2, and it is made by Brandon Jacobs. So 37-34, 3-point lead for your Franklin Pierce Ravens over the Pace Setters. This has been an entertaining game so far, as both teams have come in energized, and Franklin Pierce looking to make a statement today. And we're going to have the halftime show. So we'll send it over to Pat Seavey.
Walking the path of integrity. Forever embracing a life in balance. Standing tall and confident. Leaders in the classroom, community, and field of play. With clear vision and a full heart. Looking to the future, devoted to the student athlete. Representing the Northeast.
Live at the field house. Coach, the Ravens are up at half. Pace, they're not the best team shooting wise, but they do have a lot of height and a lot of length, and that adds up to their points in the paint as they are around 20. What could you do to stop that going into the second half?
Well, I think they're getting the ball because Ted's getting in the paint. So Ted's creating a lot of opportunities for everyone. We got to keep him in front of us, and we got to do a better job of containing him. And I think that takes away a lot of their easy baskets.
Other than the points in the paint. Is there anything that you would like to change going into the second half?
No, I thought we played pretty well. I think we just got to do a better job of keeping 10 in front of us, keep moving the ball offensively, and I was pretty happy with our half.
Are you going to stick with a press or maybe like a half court trap on defense? You gonna switch?
We'll mix it up. Yeah, we'll mix it up. I thought that they were doing a good job breaking our press, and it was creating too many easy opportunities for them. So we'll try to pick and choose our spots on that.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Patrick Stevie here, here with Matt Janik. Matt, what did you see that you liked from the Ravens in the first half of the game?
A couple things. Balanced scoring. Nobody's in double figures yet, but they're still up by 3. A lot of good ball movement. I think it's 12 assists on 14 field goals. Capitalizing on mistakes. The points off of turnovers aren't even close. It's 18-2 or something like that.
If there's one thing that you would like to see changed going into the second half, what would that be?
Probably need a few more threes to fall. They're not shooting that well from 3. I don't think Coach is real happy with the transition defense. I saw him getting on those guys a couple of times, so I'm guessing that needs to improve as well.
Perfect, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Fantastic. Thank you
Being a
very much.
champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
All right, so we are back following the halftime show with your Patrick Seavey. He will be back with Ian Maluski and myself for the halftime analysis. He spoke to Coach David Chadbourne, and we are going to get you your halftime stats. So far in this game, Franklin Pierce leads 37-34, a closely contested half of battle. Your pace setters have come into this game 10-6, Franklin Pierce 7-8, riding on the heels of a big win against Lemoyne. In this game, Franklin Pierce shooting 4 of 14, 28% from the three-point line. Big difference so far, as Pace has only shot 1 of 6 for 16%. Pace is shooting better from the field so far at 48%. However, points off of turnovers have been key for the Franklin Pierce Ravens, as they have 19 points off turnovers compared to Pace's just 14. They also have 15 points off the bench. Points in the paint, however, pretty even there, as Franklin Pierce is only down by 2 in that area, 20 for Pace and 18 for Franklin Pierce. How did you like that first half action, Ian?
I got to say, I love the play of the young guys. We had plays from Isaiah Moore. He got things going early. He was passing the ball well. He took a deep 3 to get things going there. Kind of really uplifted their offense, and it got them going. Kind of got them out to the lead that they maintained throughout the entire half of play, you also had play from Brandon Kolak, who came in there. He has 3 points. He made that one tray early on there. So I got to say, I love the play from the young guys, kind of get things going. One thing I was surprised to see, kind of the lack of points and lack of consistency from players like Dorian Vatachumi and Falou Sek. Falou Sek is 1 of 3 from three-point land, and he's 2 of 4 from the field. He has only 5 points, but I expect those two, Dorian as well, who only has 4 points, I expect those two to really go off here in the second half of play. And I'd like to really see Jeremy Arthur, who, as we've mentioned in the past couple broadcasts, who has played very well. He's playing well here tonight. He's 2 of 6 from the field. However, 1 of 4 from the three from beyond the arc. He has 6 points. So far, a lot of mistake-free basketball from both sides, and that's why we have a very close game. We have those turnovers that you touched up on there. That kind of has been a problem for both. And we've also seen quite a bit of fouls, especially by the Ravens. They kind of cleaned that up towards the end of the half there. They remain at 12 fouls for the game. However, I really like the play of both sides. I expect a very contested second half of play as we saw in the first.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. We've seen a lot from Isaiah Moore so far with the team lead of 9 points in this game. Jeremy Arthur with 6. And, yes, I do believe Falou Sek and Dorian Vatachumi will still get into double digits by the end of this game, as both have 4 and 5 points respectively. Peyton Weinert has been the leading scorer for the pace setters so far in this game. He has 11. He is the first leading scorer for the pace setters this season with 17.1 points per game. So he's pretty close to his average already. Austin Gilbertson, your 4th best shooter, 9.5 averaged points a game. He is 2nd on the team tonight, 7 points. They've done a nice job limiting Brandon Jacobs, Tyrone Cohen Jr., and Greg Polian to just 10 points total. So the starting lineup really been keyed by Weinert and Gilbertson in this game. And, David Chadbourne, he's coming up with a nice little mix here that we've seen from Brandon Kolak. We've seen Isaiah Moore, the freshman, get inserted into it. You've also seen Connor Cullen have some minutes in there. So, they talked about it a little bit earlier. The youth is starting to show itself more for David Chadbourne's group, mixed in with that leadership of Dorian and Falou Sek.
I really like that move by him. I mean, putting in players like Brandon Kolak, he's been inserted into the starting rotation a couple times now, and he's been producing at the position of where Falou Sek might be in Sek as well. I mean, as you said, you're both leaning on the young guys to develop them, to get them ready for the next couple of years, but you're also kind of want to lean on leadership as well with players like Sek and Vatachumi. So I like the calls by our head coach there, putting in the young guys.
Absolutely, and Vatachumi is one of those players that has worked hard all offseason. I've seen it. I've mentioned it before. He's somebody that, has really done a lot to exemplify and improve his game for his teammates and really be a leader out on the court. You've seen it these past few games and all season, especially, the 4 straight games with 17-plus points. I think Falou, I don't know if this is Chadbourne's intention, but him coming off the bench has been kind of a motivator for Falou, especially after that 2-point effort against Roberts Wesleyan where he struggled to shoot and the Ravens lost by 5. I mean, imagine if Falou Sek has himself a game, we might be talking about a 3-game win streak for the Ravens rather than a 2-1 in their last 3 games. But so far, an impressive start in this one. It's 37-34. And a couple other notes, I suppose, we can touch on. I mean, Gerard Gray got some playing time in that one. We've seen Lalami Lola Charles hasn't had a lot of playing time since starting the game in this one. I mean, I rarely saw him as Gerard Gray had come in and really taken over that spot. You also had David Bradbury Jr. getting some playing time and Sean Fasuhiro, which we've seen a lot. Sam Van Oostrum, though, he's got to cut down on his turnovers.
I mean, that's just the one thing he struggled with both this year and his freshman year is a lot of fouls. I mean, we've seen it here. We've seen it in previous games. However, on the flip side of that, he's a guy who can get the rest of your offensive starters going, such as Sek and Vatachumi. But I agree with you. That's an area where he has to cut down on is his foul troubles.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Hopefully the Ravens will be able to help you guys out with your predictions made pregame and, get rid of these home court demons that we have talked about, with them being 2-4 and just 1-4 against conference opponents here at the Fieldhouse. The comfy confines have not been so comfy, and yet here we are with a chance for 2 straight home wins. However, they still have a whole half to go before that's locked up. Pat, how did David Chadbourne seem at the halftime interview?
I spoke with Coach. He seemed pleased. His number one concern was to quote-unquote contain 10. 10 being Brandon Jacobs, who put up 7 shots, only made 3 of them, with 6 points.
Yep. And he's kind of the setter for the setters,
exactly,
shall I say.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I also put the point with him that Pace's team isn't really about shooting threes, as they're only one of 6, or shooting jumpers at all, as they have a lot of height and a lot of length. So most of their points are going to be in the paint. And Coach's adjustment to that is rotations. Every time someone's coming off a pick, they want the man to switch, to either switch or go under, because he knows they can't shoot at the right time, so that they can stop them before they put up either a layup, dunk, or even like a deeper 2.
Absolutely. And so far in this game, the largest lead we've seen by either team has been 6 points. And you've seen Matt Healing utilize his starting 5 primarily. You've only seen Ray Montelis, Christopher Matthews, Luke McClellan. And here we go. Brandon Jacobs, that number 10 that David Chadbourne was talking about at the half. Isaiah Moore on him. A screen well shut up by Greg Polian. Tries to get it to Paul Weinert and does, but a nice block by Dorian Fadu-Jutimi. However, I think the ball does get possessed by Lola Charles.
Ooh,
nice spin move, but doesn't get it to go. Brandon Kolek put a nice spin move on, I believe that was Polian, but unfortunately the basket just bounced out. However, possession remains with the Ravens, as Lola Charles was able to retain possession and then got fouled. Quickly. So refs wanted 29 on the shot clock. So now Isaiah Moore. He will not get that basket. That was tough. They tried to set up the screen with Jeremy Arthur, however, no avail there. Still drove it in, just couldn't make that tough adjustment. Now Gilbertson will work on Brandon Kolek. A foul by Isaiah Moore on Brandon Jacobs. That'll be the key matchup, I think, in the second half, is Brandon Jacobs on Isaiah Moore.
Definitely.
Excluding Paul Weinert, because Paul Weinert has been a force so far in the paint for these pace setters, and he has keyed what is 20 points in the paint to Franklin Pierce's 18. Foul. A foul by Isaiah Moore there on Brandon Jacobs.
Second call in the past, minute and a half on Isaiah Moore. And as you said, that's going to be a key matchup. Let's see how Isaiah Moore does with that, as he does lead the team in steals so far this season.
That means that quickly, not even a minute into this second half, David Chadbourne is going to have to substitute Sam Van Oostrom in for Isaiah Moore.
Didn't like what he saw out of Moore right there to start out the second half.
Well, I think the fouls just had to force him to come out, honestly. Oh, a 3-ball is airballed by Tyrone Cohen Jr. Now Jeremy Arthur trying to fake out the defense. Brandon Kolek with a wide open 3 look. He will drain it. So a tray by Brandon Kolek puts the Franklin Pierce Ravens up 40-34. Nice job by Jeremy Arthur finding his teammate.
Beautiful setup and a beautiful shot.
Now Brandon Jacobs will work it. He will find Greg Polian, who has been limited in this game. Nice job by Tyrone Cohen Jr. to take that one to the basket.
He just completely split the Ravens defense there
Oh,
and snuck
man.
that one in.
Yeah, 40-36. I mean, he just is your score. He just made that one look easy. Brandon Kolek now working on the defense. Tries to get it into Olamiloa Charles, but a reach-in foul by number 3, Austin Gilbertson. So now Sam Van Oostrum will inbound it for the Ravens. It's a 40-36 game. And Van Oostrum will get it into Brandon Kolek, set up a screen, and he will drain another 3.
Kolek.
Brandon
Again.
Kolek on fire right now. 2 straight trays for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. 43-36, suddenly a 7-point lead, largest of the night.
And the only 6 points of this second half is coming from Kolek there.
So Kolek keying a run here for the Ravens. The freshman keeping his stride. And a travel.
Travel on
Kolek
right
that time. So that's another thing I've seen Kolek do a couple times tonight is travel. But still, keying a run there, 6 points.
For those 2 made threes there, the Ravens now are 5 of 13 from beyond the arc, just over 33%.
So tough contested battle there with Greg Polian. He was fouled by Doyen Fadujutimi. There it is. So Brandon Kolek with 9 points in this game. He's waiting for the stat correction as he had 3 earlier in this game, and they said he had 6, but they finally added the other 3. So he has 9, and he's tied with Isaiah Moore for the team lead.
Better late than never.
Yep. These computers, they're just so darn slow these days, huh?
Especially here in range. Especially contending with that Wi-Fi.
And there is Greg Polian. He will get 2 free throws, so those are his 5th points? 5 points, I believe, on the night? 4 points on the night. Excuse me. Doyen Fadujutimi now almost got stripped by Tyrone Cohen Jr., but he will keep it. Olamiloa Charles looking for anybody. He'll get it to Jeremy Arthur. Tries to set up a screen, does not. Now Arthur working against Paul Weinert. He'll get it out to Kolek. Kolek amazingly did not get called for a travel there.
Yeah, it looked like he made
It looked like he
more than
made
2 steps
yeah.
there. Yeah.
But
lucky there. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, he missed the basket. It's 43-38. And then Christopher Matthews, who is subbed in, number 14, went up for a tough basket, did not get it, got rejected, and the ball went out, but Pace retains possession. So now Christopher Matthews over to Brandon Jacobs, and Brandon Jacobs underneath over to Tyrone Cohen. Christopher Matthews, a wide open look, but he will airball that one.
Second air ball trying to take the 3 there.
Here's Sam Van Oostrum quickly down the court. Flusek looking to sub in. Brandon Kolek pulled up, thought about taking a 3. He'll take a 2, and he'll make it. So Brandon Kolek suddenly with the lead for Franklin Pierce in terms of points, 11.
8 in this half alone.
8 in this half alone. The only points that Franklin Pierce has scored. Dorian Fadujutimi with a steal, but he was out. His foot was on the line, so they will call him out. Now Flusek will sub in for Doyen. Brandon Jacobs to inbound it for the pace setters.
And the one thing about Doyen is when I think of him, I think of like a two-way player.
Yep.
He's great on offense, and he's extremely athletic
on defense,
which also makes him great for blocks,
yep.
steals, passing lanes, etc.
I totally agree. Now we have some statistical corrections over here with the refs in front of us. So just some stat corrections as the refs explain things to the sideline judges.
Very clean second half of basketball here. Both sides have yet to create a turnover. I know we're only 4 minutes in.
Ooh, Bradbury came dangerously close to doing so. He's checked in this game now. Brandon Jacobs working on Sam Van Oostrum to still trying to contain him are the Ravens. Greg Polian will pull up for
Great
a shot.
post defense there.
But
Jeremy
not
Arthur
going to
not
make
giving
it.
him any space.
Tyrone Cohen Jr., though, put that one back.
Not getting that rebound kind of puts all the effort that Jeremy Arthur just put in vain there. I mean, he had great post defense there. Wasn't allowing a shot at all.
And Jeremy Arthur will get it out to Flusek, but Flusek dropped it, and the ball went out of bounds. So 45-40, and now Pace with a chance to make this game even closer than it already is. Ravens looking to play some defense here. Sam Van Oostrum on Brandon Jacobs. Key matchup right now. Jacobs with a pull-up two. Can't get that one to go. Interesting. I believe. Yeah, they'll call a foul on the Lami Lola Charles. So possession will remain with Pace. Jamison Pierrelis will come in. Ooh.
We're getting some.
Lola Charles and Weinert were tied up as the substitution was about to happen. And looked like Lola Charles threw a little arm.
Yeah, I don't think Weinhardt did not like that one. He was looking for a foul of some sort.
He could have been assessed a technical, but they did not assess it there. So.
And I'm surprised the ref was standing right in front of him. Saw that completely, but got lucky there.
I don't know if it was an accident or if Weinhardt made it look worse than it was, but.
That could have been the case. Weinhardt could have maybe played that off a little bit. Maybe he took some acting classes in high school. Who knows?
Weinhardt doesn't strike me as a man who took acting classes, but I see your point. I see your point. There's Weinhardt with a tough basket underneath.
And he answered that quickly.
Yep. So that was Weinhardt answering whatever little bump just happened between him and Lola Charles. Quickly with a chance for a three-point play now and a chance to bring this within two. So it's been kind of a back-and-forth game between these two teams as Franco Pierce is fighting so hard tonight on home court.
Something that we haven't seen a little bit other than the other night when they took down Lemoyne. They haven't struggled like this since their 2010 season, where they finished an abysmal 6-22 on the season.
I don't know if it's quite to that level.
No, not at all, but smart play.
Cohen Jr. was able to throw that ball out off Gerard Gray. So possession will remain with the Pace setters after the missed free throw by Paul Weinert. It's a three-point game. Pace with a chance to narrow that gap even more now.
Could tie it with a tray here, but however they've struggled from beyond the arc, shooting 1 of 9, just at 11%.
There goes Brandon Jacobs, and he will make it a one-point game, 45-44. That's the number 10 that Coach David Chadbourne was worried about. Isaiah Moore lost the handle, and I believe that's Pace ball.
I think he tried to go behind the back. I think there may have been a miscommunication there. I think he maybe expected his player to be behind him.
Or he was looking to make a little 360 move and spin around and try and get to the basket, but that did not work as Isaiah Moore let that one slip away. So now a chance for Pace to take a lead after what was the largest lead of the night, 7 points for Franklin Pierce.
Their first turnover of the half could prove to put them behind here.
Kolek working against Austin Gilbertson. Screen set up by Greg Polian. Gilbertson goes up, will not get it to go. I believe ball will be given to Franklin Pierce.
And they had more on Weinert, but they didn't look at him in the post.
They did not. So 45-44. Isaiah Moore comes off the court now as Jeremy Arthur has come back into the game. Sam Van Oostrum also working with Gerard Gray, Brandon Kolek, and Dorian Fadjutimi. Jeremy Arthur with a big three. The tray hit by Jeremy Arthur puts this one 48-44, 4-point Franklin Pierce lead. Nice shot by Jeremy Arthur.
That's what you needed for the Ravens. You needed a spark of some sort because Pace started to go on a little run there.
And now we'll see if the Ravens can play some defense as Brandon Jacobs pulls for a three. Can't get that one to go. Nice job by Doyen grabbing the rebound. Doyen will get that contested too. And a chance for a 3-point play now as Ray Montelis, I believe, is called for the foul.
Starting to gain some momentum, the Ravens are here in the mid-second half of play here at the 14-minute mark here.
14-minute mark, it's 50-44. Doyen with a chance to put the Ravens up by, once again, 7 points.
Today the Ravens are 5 of 7.
And here is Fadu Jutimi. He misses. He has struggled a little bit with free throws this season, although not pronounced. Oh, Doyen tipped that one. Oh, not enough, though, to get the steal. Paul Weinhardt, loose ball. Doyen Fadu Jutimi with a steal. Here he comes. This is him and Brandon Jacobs. Doyen will get fouled.
Beautiful.
Great effort
100%.
by Doyen.
He was 100% fouled by Brandon Jacobs right there. So now Doyen will go and shoot two on a one-on-one situation. Doyen made him pay because he was either getting that one or getting fouled.
And then on the defensive end, he had tipped the ball from the ball carrier and then jumped back in the passing lane and took it about 80
That
feet.
goes exactly back to what you said not long ago about Doyen being so athletic that he is able to make plays on defense, not just on offense. His long arms and that reach and that speed that he's got. He really worked on his shot a lot this summer. All things considered, Doyen is their best all-around player. And he hits both his free throws, so 52-44, and the Ravens have taken their largest lead of the night, 8 points.
They want to build that here, and how you build that is shutting down on defense. Make sure they don't get any easy looks.
Shut down on defense and then get Doyen and Falou open looks, perhaps.
Oh, yes, that'll definitely help your cause.
Oh, my goodness. How much more open can you get right there, though? Tyrone Cohen Jr. missed a three-pointer that was, staring him in the face.
Now an abysmal.
Doyen pulls up, but in and out.
Now Pace, an abysmal 1-11 from beyond the arc.
A block by Doyen Fadu Jutimi. So Fadu Jutimi all the way back down court, defenders all around, but Fadu Jutimi got the block. That was an incredible play by Doyen right there.
Both him and Fiasioro were in the shooter's face, giving him absolutely nothing.
Back to that athleticism by Doyen that Pat mentioned. Here comes Falou.
Got turned around there.
He did. Oh, that was a nice basket right there. Tyrone Cohen Jr. going up against Sam Van Oostrum, and I believe a timeout was called by Matt Healing. Yep, Pace called the timeout. Yeah, entertaining game so far, 52-46. It is a 6-point game, so Pace has narrowed the gap once again. It is 12:51 remaining. And Franklin Pierce, like we said, trying to get to 500 with back-to-back wins against winning teams.
If they keep playing like this, eliminate the turnovers. Like I said, they only had one so far this half, so they're doing great there and limiting the fouls, which they improved there a little bit. They are up to 18 now, still at a couple there, but if they keep playing the way they're playing, get more consistency by Sec there. I mean, you're starting to get some from Doyen. If you improve those areas there and stay consistent, I mean, this is very much within reach.
Absolutely. And I love the way David Chadbourne has adjusted his team in recent weeks. He's blended in Brandon Kolek and Connor Cullen and Isaiah Moore very well. Moore has been a starter all season for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. He has been one of the consistent few. He's shown up today with 9 points in this one, along with Jeremy Arthur. Doyen Fadu Jutimi at 8, Falusek at 5, and then your leader, Brandon Kolek, with 11 after he drained 3 3-pointers. in this game. Now here comes Falusek down court. He will get it over to Sam Van Oostrum, who gets a long pass to Brandon Kolek. Falusek with a three. He will hit it. Falusek, 55-46. It's a 9-point lead for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Their most all night. And Falusek suddenly opening the game up. Here comes Austin Gilbertson. Christopher Matthews now working against Sean Fasoyero. Nice move. He'll get a pass to Cohen. Cohen will miss the two, but a nice putback by Greg Polian.
That was some great interior defense there by Gray. Forced that miss, but however, Pace was able to recover their own rebound. Keep this one close.
Brandon Kolek with a wide open three, and he will not hit that one. Gray looked like he was going to get the rebound, did not get it though. Struggle right there.
Kolek's first miss of the evening from beyond the arc there.
Yeah, he was hot before that. So 55-48 now. Pressure put on by Falusek. And now Cohen will take a two, and he'll get that one. That was around the free throw line. So the jumper by Cohen is good, 55-50. It was a 5-point game. So that 9-point lead is gone. Here comes Falusek. He'll get it back to Brandon Kolek, who gets it back to Sek. Sek with a three, and he drains it. Falusek, 58-50 now.
I think someone's heating up a little bit.
Falusek has suddenly come on into this one, and that will put him in double digits.
And we're gonna
a travel call. So Franklin Pierce all of a sudden getting hot at the right time. Falusek with 11 points in this game now. He has reached double digits. Doyen Fajutimi 3 points away from reaching double digits himself, I should say too.
I mean, Sek on that three, he just caught it and said, oh, you're going to give me this much space?
Yep.
And just pulled it right with the defender's hand.
So Isaiah Moore now to Doyen Fajutimi, and Fajutimi with a tough layup gets his double.
Those are your two.
That's
And
his double.
one.
So now it is 60-50. Doyen with a chance for a three-point play. Falusek and Doyen Fajutimi have come in, and they are now keying this run for the Ravens.
It was only a matter of time before these two started to wake up. It came maybe a little bit later than we would have thought, but however, Falusek getting those 2 threes to fall, and now Doyen, he has an opportunity for a three-point play.
And both of them, along with Brandon Kolek and Isaiah Moore and Jeremy Arthur, having themselves a game. There's Doyen. So Doyen hits his first, excuse me, not his first, but he hits the free throw. So it's 61-50, 11-point lead, largest of the night for Franklin Pierce. Tyrone Cohen Jr. subbed back in.
Can't sleep on Pace, though, especially with Brandon Jacobs out there.
Martin Mann has also subbed in for the Pace Setters. Almost lost it, Brandon Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs now was nice. Here comes Falusek down the line. And a layup.
Falusek.
So Falusek with 13 points. That's the team lead. 63-50. The Ravens have expanded their lead to 13 points. There's 10 minutes remaining in this game. And Pace starting to look a little tired out there. Austin Gilbertson had to pull up for a three. He'll drain it. Wow. Good answer by the Pace Setters right there. Austin Gilbertson cutting the lead from 13 to 10.
Falusek has 8 points in the past 3 minutes of play.
Yep. He's 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, so 60% in three-point shooting. Kolek is 3 of 4, so he has 75% from beyond the arc. Doyen has struggled from beyond the arc tonight. He's 0-4, but he has 11 points as he shot 4 of 10 from the field.
If he's not producing in one part of his game, he's definitely doing in other areas. I mean, he's done it pretty well from the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 from there, 4 of 10 on the evening, and he is contributing. He's up to double digits with 11 points.
I'm impressed so far with how the Ravens have been able to limit Peyton Weinert and Austin Gilbertson, as well as Tyrone Cohen Jr. Those three combined have 33 points in this game. Peyton Weinert, the leading scorer this season, usually averages about 17 points a game. He's held to 13 so far. Greg Polian and Brandon Jacobs have been limited to just 14 points combined. Here comes Isaiah Moore to get it to Doyen. Doyen now is looking for somebody. He'll get it to Falou. Falou, nice pass to Isaiah Moore. Got to put something up. Isaiah Moore, nice too.
Nice floater there by
So Isaiah Moore with 11 points now. That puts him in double figures. And then a deep three by Austin Gilbertson. My goodness, I mean, he might have wanted to check himself there because he was a good 3 feet behind the three-point line, and he just airballed that one.
I think he took a look at the scoreboard, saw that his team was down by 12, and he was like, oh, might as well.
He air-mailed that ball. Shipped that via FedEx Express. And now, Falou Sek misses a three. So here comes Brandon Jacobs. And now Gilbertson gets the ball back. And he'll take a better shot that time. Get the layup. He'll get the layup. 65-55 now. 10-point game. Here comes Isaiah Moore.
Let's see what he can get going. He was subbed out earlier.
Oh! Woo! Woo! Some heat there from Isaiah Moore. A spin back and off the backboard. 13 points for the freshman.
And that's a charge.
And an offensive foul the other way by, I believe, Martin Mann. So now Franklin Pierce, 67-55, 12 points, your largest lead in the, 13 points is your largest lead of the night. Got ahead of myself. But a chance to get it to 14.
They're keeping up the intensity on offense, and it's translating defensively for them as they force pace to create the turnover.
Impressive have these last two games been against quality opponents, no, mind you.
Beautiful pump fake.
Jeremy Arthur, step back three. Oh my goodness, 70-55. It's a 15-point lead. The Ravens have broken this one open. Jeremy Arthur, Falou Sek, Isaiah Moore, all around. You're seeing it get done on the court.
That consistency that I was kind of looking for at the end of the half.
Here comes Gilbertson. He will drain a three. That takes a little bit of the air out of the ball.
Consistency I was kind of worried about in the first half is definitely here right now.
Falou Sek, a pass deep down the sideline through his hands. Isaiah Moore was a little bit too much heat on that, although Falou says that's his fault. So 70-58, some wild action here as Isaiah Moore and Jeremy Arthur and Falou Sek have opened this game up. So now the Ravens have 5 in double figures so far in this game. So they're getting it done in all phases from.
Not surprisingly.
Brandon Jacobs missed that one. Greg Polian with a chance, though. He will miss it. Paul Weinert gets it back, and that time he got it and a chance for three.
Ravens so far, not surprisingly, outscoring pace 33-26 here with just 7 minutes and 39 seconds to go.
So points in the paint still favor the pace setters, 34-28. However, Ravens limiting turnovers to just 12 so far, and points off turnovers have been astonishingly high as Franklin Pierce with 27 to Pace's 10. So a difference right there so far in this game. Weinert gets it. So 70-61 now, 9-point game. Pace has gone on a 6-0 run here. Weinert has been on the free throw line a lot tonight.
As a team, they are 69% from the free throw line.
That they are. Here comes Isaiah Moore. Moore gets it to Doyen. Doyen travels. So 7 minutes and 24 seconds remain. Pat, any recent observations?
I mean, everything seems to be clicking for Franklin Pierce here.
Just a little 6-0 run that Pace has been on.
Exactly.
So here comes Cohen. So Gilbertson now to Brandon Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs will drive. He gets it over to Cohen Jr. Gilbertson with a three. Oh, he was fouled.
Fouled hard there by Isaiah Moore. Chance for 3 opportunities from the free throw line.
Indeed. So this is scary now.
Just when the Ravens were gaining momentum, looked like they might run away with this on here about halfway through the second half of play. But
so now the Ravens need to respond then.
Yes, they do, as momentum is starting to shift to Pace.
So there's Gilbertson's first. So Austin Gilbertson has keyed a little run here. Had a 3.
He's also up now to 17 points on the evening.
He is.
Now the leading scorer for Pace.
Him and Peyton Weinert have been key in this game so far. As Gilbertson and Weinert have brought Pace to back within 6. 70-64, and the air has suddenly left the field house. And the Ravens need to respond. Flusek. Whoa, nice touch on that one. He put that high off the backboard and in. 72-64. Ravens take an 8-point lead.
15 points for Flusek now.
Here comes Brandon Jacobs to Gilbertson. Gilbertson into Greg Polian on a beautiful pass. So Gilbertson and Weinert getting it done in terms of points scored and assists.
They're just exchanging buckets back and forth here.
6-point game. Flusek. Another nice touch off the backboard. So
17.
Flusek with 17 points in this game now.
Sek with a little deja vu.
Yeah, he did that on back-to-back plays. Same back thing. Off the top of the backboard. Just nice touch by Flusek. I mean, between him and I want to say Jeremy Arthur. I think, it's tied between which one has better touch. I love the way Jeremy Arthur shoots those trays, but Flusek, same kind of touch, I think, on a lot of his shots.
Most definitely.
Dorian has a touch about him too, but sometimes I think he's a little rushed. And yet with Jeremy Arthur and Flusek, I noticed they take their time, really set themselves, make that 3. Looks pretty easy out there.
I mean, and they're making it easy from inside the paint as well. I mean, as we noted.
So the Ravens doing a nice job responding there. Still, though, an 8-point game. And plenty of time for both teams, 6:29 remaining.
Yep, game is not over by any stretch. I mean, we saw the Ravens creep out to a 12-point lead. Then 15-point lead, excuse me. Yes, a 15-point lead. And now, however, Pace storming back.
So again, the Ravens, second best in terms of points per game scoring offense this season. And they are 9 points away from tying that average so far this season.
As of right now, they are 51, just under 52%.
And they are also a basket away from getting over their totals the last 2 games of 75 and 76.
Improvement all around for this Ravens team.
So here, a travel? No, a foul by Brandon Jacobs. Offensive foul. So now Franklin Pierce will get possession. 6:15 in this game remaining. Jeremy Arthur to inbound it. He's looking for direction from David Chadbourne, his coach. Sam Van Oostrom to set the offense against Brandon Jacobs. He will quickly take it down court. Bad travel.
He got lucky earlier in the game when he definitely had a travel, but it wasn't called.
Yep.
Wasn't so fortunate this time around.
So Sam Van Oostrom called it once again for the travel. A consistent problem with the sophomore. And now Flusek working on Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs will find Gilbertson, who works on Sam Van Oostrom. Tried to set a screen, did not work. Gilbertson lost the ball, but
Chadbourne is
David Chadbourne is livid as Jamison Pierrelis gets called for a foul underneath.
ref's trying to calm him down here, but that is a very rough task.
Ooh.
Bring Peyton Weinhardt back to the
Chad
line.
Bourne is pleading his case to the refs on that one. Not very happy with the call.
Trying his very best.
So here again is Weinert, who has, he's been a consistent thing for the pace setters already on the free throw line tonight.
Now 7 of 9 after that one.
It's been like Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. Just keep showing up to the free throw line.
8 of 10 now to 80%. He's also has had a presence on the boards. He has 9.
So here is Falusek now. Ooh, almost made a pretty little move. Couldn't get enough though. Dorian Fajutimi to take a 3, and he will not get that one. Fajutimi has struggled from the line so far. Beyond the arc, he's 0 of 5 tonight.
And he kind of had a little bit of time to make that shot, but as we said, he seems to be rushing just a little bit, maybe a little early on his release from beyond the arc. That seems to be a common theme.
So Tyrone Cohen Jr. is called for a foul, sending Jamison Pierless to the line and gives Franklin Pierce a chance to increase their 6-point lead. Here comes Pierless with his first shot. And he hits it. So 75-68. And now Pierless. He will miss the second one. Gilbertson corrals the rebound. 7-point lead for your Franklin Pierce Ravens. Gilbertson. Here's Weinert. Now back to Gilbertson. Gilbertson and Weinert, the two stars for pace tonight. A block there by Jamison Pierless, but unfortunately the ball went out and it will remain with the pace setters. No question about that. So Weinert and Gilbertson, 18 points apiece in this one. 36 points. That has been key, and it's helped pace stay in this game. Got to take a shot now is Weinert. Off the rim. Ooh, Austin Gilbertson.
Trying to put that one back, but he'll get the...
Austin Gilbertson, a scrappy little effort there. And Sam Van Oostrom will get called for the foul. That puts Gilbertson on the line now.
Franklin Pierce has a team now up to 21 fouls on the evening.
So Gilbertson and Weinert have been on the line so far tonight. And they've now hit 12 free throws on 14 shots. So 14 times they've been to the free throw.
Pace is doing a good job keeping up with the Ravens. However, they're 1.
And Gilbertson will hit the second one.
They're 1.
So now another scary set here is 75-70 is your score. The Franklin Pierce Ravens are up by 5, and there's still 4 minutes and 52 seconds remaining.
Chad Board wants a lane violation on the free throw, and he's expressing himself.
Not going to get it, though, unfortunately.
No, can't really go back in time and change the call.
No, can't throw the challenge flag here in basketball.
No, not like the NFL.
I think the one big difference in this game between these two teams is the ability to make those points counts from beyond the arc. Pace is 3 of 15, just at a 20% here, while the Ravens are 10 of 24 and just under 42%.
I agree.
Wow.
Franklin Pierce with a nice 52% shooting from the field. That's pretty impressive so far in this game. And in terms of second chance points, Pace has outscored Franklin Pierce 20-5. That's been key. Bench points, however, Franklin Pierce 28-6. So a lot of bench production for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. However, a lot of that comes from Falusek, who did not start tonight.
Oh, yes.
He was off the bench.
Sek is at 21 points on 7 of 10 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc.
Points off turnovers favor the Ravens, 27-18. Points in the paint still favor Pace. It's 38-32. A foul is committed there on Doyen Faderjatimi. That should send him to the line. So here's the part of Doyen's game that he definitely continues to work on. He's 3 of 4 so far in this game from the free throw line, and he will take 2 key ones here.
These are very important. Under 5 minutes ago, a small 5-point lead, making these could be, all the difference here.
Definitely.
In terms of momentum, I absolutely agree. If he misses, and he does miss, so 75-70.
And it's one weak part of his game is from at that free throw line.
Paul Weinert found himself a lane. Foul committed by Jeremy Arthur.
Looks like Arthur got
Clocked.
elbowed in the nose.
Nose, yes.
Yeah, he looked like he took a hit.
Took a hard hit to the face. So here again, shockingly, I should say, is Peyton Weinert.
Jeremy Arthur in a visible amount of pain here.
And he will be subbed out for Sean Fasoyero. Here comes Ray Montelis in for Greg Polian. Weinert misses. Interesting.
Kind of a rarity.
Missed just his 3rd free throw of the night. But he shot a lot of them. He shot 11. So some free throw troubles for both teams in these last couple seconds. Doyen and Weinert. Weinert hits that one though. Makes it a 4-point game, so pace is the closest it's been in a while.
This one's getting, unfortunately, very interesting right now.
It is. Here comes Sam Van Oostrum finding Sean Fasoyero back to Falusek.
Beautiful passing here.
Nice double team on Falusek by Pace. Doyen is left wide open. Not going to drain that 3-point attempt, though. Doyen is struggling from beyond the 3-point line tonight. Austin Gilbertson let up a prayer.
Deep 3.
Franklin Pierce is really going to have to work out these kinks and really lock in on the defensive end and really just seal.
And at this point, I think Pace is happy guarding Falusek with a double team. Wow, a steal there. Sam Van Oostrum tried to squeeze it into Fasoyero. Didn't happen. Tyrone Cohen Jr. quickly down the court. Can't get that one to go, though. Doyen was able to corral it.
Fortunate miss. They needed that.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this game. It's a 4-point Franklin Pierce lead. It's getting close, getting chippy. Sam Van Oostrum now back to Falusek. Falus sends it to Doyen.
Raymond's going to look to slow it down here.
Poked out by Brandon Jacobs, so it goes out of bounds. Sub in now as Jeremy Arthur and Isaiah Moore will come in. Sam Van Oostrum off the court as well as Falusek.
Pace might have something going there if they continue to double team Falusek and if Doyen continues to struggle from beyond the arc.
I like the sub in. Getting Isaiah Moore in for Sam Van Oostrum. Van Oostrom's struggles have been pronounced tonight. Jeremy Arthur tried to get it to Doyen Faderjatimi, but it was off his hands and out of bounds, so 3:21 remaining. It's a 4-point game. And it's becoming a nail-biter here at the Fieldhouse.
Doyen kind of unexpectedly struggling in multiple facets to the game from the free throw line. He missing his threes here, now a turnover.
Now the Franklin Pierce Ravens will need someone to step up, as it is getting close here with under 3 minutes to play in this game. Nice block by Doyen Fadjutimi on Brandon Jacobs. Flew set quickly down the court. He'll
Very tough.
tried to get that one in, but it was nicely defended. Doyen was able to get the rebound, luckily, so it's 75-71. Franklin Pierce retains possession. Falou looks to make a move.
Oh.
He thought he got fouled, I think, underneath there. Cohen Jr. quickly down the court. He won't get that one. So Peyton Weiner, it went off his foot, the refs say, so now the Ravens get possession again. 2 minutes, 32 seconds. We've not seen a basket in quite some time here.
This is now a good opportunity for the Ravens to start to kill some clock here.
Oh, Molami Lola Charles won't get that one to go. Weinert gets the ball on the defensive rebound, so struggles here for both teams to score. However, I don't like what is happening as Brandon Jacobs goes hard in the paint. Foul called on Isaiah Moore. So now Brandon Jacobs will go in and score, try to score 2 free throws for Pace. There's number 10 showing himself, even though he's only got 8 points so far in this game. David Chadbourne spoke at halftime about limiting Jacobs. They've done a nice job of that, but here he comes, and he'll hit the first free throw to make it a 3-point game. Franklin Pierce struggling to get scoring from anybody right now. Doyen had a couple opportunities to increase the Franklin Pierce lead, but it has not happened, and it is a 2-point game, folks. 2 minutes, 13 seconds remaining. Pace has narrowed this one.
Chad Bordelek's timeout. I thought it was going to be a foul. Looks like it could have been a blocking foul, but Ravens take a timeout.
So 75-73, 2-point game. It is getting hair-raisingly close. And Pace has done a nice job to chip back into this one. Franklin Pierce desperately needing somebody to step up and score some points as Fadjutimi has gone cold all of a sudden. And Falou Sek also getting double-teamed down low. So the troubles.
Pace right now on a 5-0 run in the past 3 minutes.
Yeah, before that, it was hard to come by points for a little bit there, but now Pace has narrowed the gap. Franklin Pierce trying to hold on for just his 3rd home win of the season.
Ravens have been stuck at 75 points since 4 minutes and 52 seconds. So about 3 minutes.
I think a little bit longer than that. I think it's been since 5:27.
Even longer.
I think. Yeah.
So give or take 3 or 4 minutes of play, which is longer than 3 or 4 minutes of real time.
So the crowd watches anxiously as the Ravens are only up by 2, and Doyen will inbound it to Isaiah Moore. They can ill afford a turnover here.
Gotta maybe kill a little bit of clock here now, under 2 minutes.
I mean, you cannot afford a turnover here at all. Blue Sec over to Isaiah Moore to Doyen.
Pass.
Doyen with a 3.
Beautiful
Doyen
pass.
drains it. That's right. Doyen Fadjutimi drains it. The man has struggled all night from the 3-point line, but from beyond the arc, he may have just hit his biggest shot of the evening. 78-73, 5-point Franklin Pierce lead. The defense is on now. Brandon Jacobs.
Ooh,
that was a beautiful move. That was a beautiful move. Quick full timeout by Matt Healing, the Pace coach, so 78-75. However, Doyen Fadjutimi was able to get the 3. Again, perhaps his biggest shot of the night so far. Puts the Ravens up just by 3 now.
That was crucial for the Ravens. They needed something. They needed someone to get some points for them, especially a 3 would have been nice, and Doyen delivers.
And now that vaults Doyen up to 2nd in terms of points scored. by the Ravens. He was just behind Falou Sek, so Doyen and Falou leading the way once again. On the opposite side, Pace's Austin Gilbertson and Peyton Weinert, 20 and 19, so 39 points respectively. Brandon Jacobs has come on with 12. And then Cohen with 10. And then Greg Pullman with 8. So the starting 5 has produced for Pace, much like it did for the women tonight. Martin Mann has gone all but silent since his first quarter explosion of 4 points. And then Christopher Matthews with just 2 off the bench.
Got to tighten up defensively. You got to look to someone to make a play, and I'm maybe looking to Doyen to come up defensively here in the last minute 30 to go.
Well, right now it is time for the Franklin Pierce Ravens to go on offense. So we will see with a minute 31 if Franklin Pierce can hold on for another big win against a conference opponent.
Looks like Pace is going to have to press here on defense.
They will. Jeremy Arthur will get it over. Nice pass to Sean Fasoyiro, and he will take it in.
Fasoyiro.
That was beautiful.
Big points.
Exposing the press defense right there was Jeremy Arthur and Sean Fasoyiro. Beyond the 3 is Brandon Jacobs. He misses that shot. Gilbertson loses the ball, but Jeremy Arthur got called for a foul. Oh! I love it. David Chadbourne over here calling this call ridiculous. Love that. He is questioning this foul as he has been quite he's been quite livid in this fourth quarter tonight.
Definitely.
Not enjoying some of the calls by the refs.
This has been a big night from the free throw line for Pace.
That's what you get from a guy who's seen it all in 20 years.
Kind of get tired of the same calls over and over again.
Oh, I'm sure. So 109 remains. It's an 80-76 game. 4-point Franklin Pierce lead. Gilbertson misses. Sean Fasoyiro with the rebound. Hard press defense played. Falou Sek now looking to work it up court.
They're going to need to slow it down.
He was pushed out of bounds. So a foul there. Tyrone Cohen Jr. is called for the foul, and now Falou Sek goes to the line to shoot.
These 2 free throw opportunities are huge right now. Extend that lead any way you can.
So Paul Weinert has a double-double for the Pace setters tonight. Austin Gilbertson is 1 rebound away from having his double-double. Falou Sek misses the first free throw attempt. And he will get the second one. So it'll be 18 points for Falou Sek. A minute left. It's 81-76. Still plenty of time for a couple of shots by Pace. Austin Gilbertson, who's been hot from the 3-point line for Pace, trying to set up a screen for him. They will. He does not drain it, though.
So that went out on Franklin Pierce.
Yes, it will stay with Pace. It's an 81-76 game, 42 seconds remaining.
Now, if Pace can't score here, it might come down to the free throw game.
I would anticipate that you are correct on that. They will probably elect to foul Franklin Pierce. Otherwise, play that hard press. So now here comes Gilbertson. Brandon Jacobs quickly.
And he stuck out his elbow trying to create
So they will call an offensive foul by Brandon Jacobs, and who knows, that could do it right there.
Now you have no choice but your Pace. Now you have no choice, as Patrick said, if you're Pace, to elect to foul them intentionally and send them to the free throw line.
I think it depends. I think they'll probably start off with the press, and if they can't force a turnover, it would be quickly.
Deadly pass.
He fouled him there, but they didn't.
Jeremy Arthur
laughing at he.
I believe they fouled Jeremy Arthur, so they'll send him to the line now. It was a nice job by Jeremy Arthur staying at the three-point line, hesitating the shot. And then he looked like he was going to pass it, but they fouled him. So now Jeremy Arthur goes to the line, 31 seconds remaining, and a chance to make it a 7-point game. He'll hit the first, 82-76, 6 points.
Jeremy Arthur now 2 of 3 from the free throw line.
So we're excited here, folks, because your Franklin Pierce Ravens are well on their way now to a big NE10 victory. Once again.
Got to tighten up here. Don't allow anything.
6-point game. Gilbertson quickly up court.
Oh, the effort by Gilbertson there.
That was impressive. So 4-point game now.
Ooh, Falou Sek. Decision to pass it over to Doyen could have been
disastrous.
Could have been disastrous. He had 2 players all over him that could have easily been turned over, but Doyen having terrific ball control and his agility to get to that pass was huge.
I am surprised that they did not call foul on whatever happened on Gilbertson's shot. However, that was a nice job by Gilbertson.
Ray. Come here.
Now, if I'm Pace, that's a good foul to foul Doyen. As it would be either him or Sam Van Oostrom, who shoots only 68% at the line.
I agree with you, Pat.
Doyen, however, makes both.
He does make both, so big free throws coming up in the clutch. 84-78, 6-point game, and there's 18 seconds remaining.
Right now, if you're Pace, you need a miracle of some sort.
Gotta think.
Pace is gonna have to put up a 3, foul.
I was gonna say you gotta think they're gonna try and set a screen.
Put up another 3.
Get maybe Brandon Jacobs or Austin Gilbertson an open look, and see if they can knock down a shot. Make it interesting. But your Franklin Pierce Ravens have played an impressive 2 halves of basketball here at the Fieldhouse. Could be on their way to a 3-4 home record.
Leading the way, not surprisingly, these 2 for your offensive scores. Falou Sek with 18 points and Doyen Fadachachumi with 14.
He has 16, I believe. They have not updated the stats yet.
As said before, gotta love this internet. Yep, 14. Or 16.
So now here comes Cohen. That was the look, but it does not fall.
Whoa,
nice effort.
Save.
Beautiful effort by Doyen Fadachachumi to keep that one in bounds. And that should about do it.
9 seconds.
9 seconds. And the Franklin Pierce Ravens will send Falou Sek, I believe, to the free throw line. There it is. Doyen, 16 points on the night, and then Austin Gilbertson, 23. So they finally updated the stats.
Sek shoots just over 80% from the line, so he
So
should
there's Sek.
be hitting
That's
both.
19 points on the night. So once again, Falou Sek and Doyen Fadachachumi have keyed the Ravens to what is going to be a huge, huge win at the Fieldhouse.
And again, their performance came in late, kind of unexpected. We expected maybe other players to really take the reins in this one. However, they came up huge again in this one. Another miss. This one's all over. The Ravens will win it.
That is right, Ian. So your Franklin Pierce Ravens with an impressive second straight victory over an NE10 opponent and a winning record NE10 opponent at that, as both teams had 10 wins. As both teams had 10 wins, both Pace and Lemoyne came into it with winning records. Lemoyne obviously being your reigning NE10 champions. And then Pace tonight with that 10-6 record. You also had a couple of key stats. You had Falou Sek with 20 points. You had Peyton Weinert, who had 19 points. You had Austin Gilbertson with 23. And Franklin Pierce was really keyed by Falusek and Doyen Fadujutimi tonight. You also saw Isaiah Moore make some game-changing plays, and Jeremy Arthur, as they have the past couple of games, really showed up. And then Brandon Kolek, who has been a hot hand as of late, didn't really show up as much against the Lemoyne Dolphins, but tonight, big game, and it results in the Ravens drawing even at 500. They are now 8-8, and 2 very impressive wins. I mean, what do you think now with the future of this team going forward?
I mean, both wins were crucial. I mean, here at home, you want to get those key home victories on your court, and they took down Lemoyne with ease. But this one, however, was just a little bit closer. But dominant play by Falusek and Doyen Fadujutimi coming in late there. We had Doyen, who kind of looked like he was struggling there towards closing minutes. He had a turnover. He was struggling from at the free throw line and from beyond the arc, but he keyed in there. He came in big defensively, and you had dominant play from, not surprisingly, Falusek, and Jeremy Arthur came in and helped solidify this win with his shooting from the free throw line. So another huge win and it's a big opportunity for them going forward as they go on the road now at 500.
I couldn't agree more, and this 86-78 win, Pat, it's key, and looking forward, as we mentioned, a lot of conference opponents on the schedule. The second best offense proved what they were made of once again tonight. They've really been on a run here, especially since that January 2nd Cheney matchup where they scored the 109 points. You've scored 76, even in that loss to Roberts Wesleyan, 75 against Lemoyne on Saturday, and now 86 tonight. And you're 3-1 in your last 4 contests, but you have a tough road game schedule against St. Rose, Southern Connecticut, and Adelphi.
What Franklin Pierce is going to need to do to win those games is play defensively sound. When they're going to need to be good, not just in one spot, but they're going to need to play the pick and roll well. They're going to need to play passing lanes well.
Yep.
They're going to need to protect the rim well. And then on the offensive end, Franklin Pierce is a bunch of 3-point shooters, which can help you or hurt you. But obviously, if you're gonna get those to fall, then you can win some games.
Absolutely, 100%. On the road this season, they've been far better than they have at home. 3-point percentage and field goal percentage has been up. In terms of rebounds, you've also had more rebounds on the road. Turnovers slightly more, but that's not too big a deal. And as I mentioned earlier, points 90.9 averaged on the road this season. So, 3 tough conference opponents coming up, but I see no reason to believe that there is a lot of hope now for the Franklin Pierce Ravens to get their 8th straight winning season. However, it is early. We'll have to see how everything plays out before they come back here on January 30th against New Haven. Should be another great matchup. But we've definitely started to see David Chadbourne utilize his lineup to the best of their ability. You've seen Brandon Kolek and Isaiah Moore really come on as of late, Falusek and Doyen Fadujutimi, but I think those players have to stay consistent down the line, especially if you want to keep winning games in fashions like you have been, because they've been grinded out wins, and I think defensively they're still having a bit of a tough time limiting opponents, and that has led to some of these closer games that we've seen. And tonight, fortunately it came out in the favor of the Ravens, but, on the road against Roberts Wesleyan didn't work out in a close game. So you're going to have to do better to limit teams defensively like they did against Lemoyne.
Yes, they did. And one key thing that we saw from Pace here in their loss was their inability to make shots land from beyond the arc. Tonight, this may have been a season low for them. They are 3 of 20 from beyond the arc. I mean, that's just something they expected to see improve later on going into the closing minutes of this game. However, it didn't happen, and that was just caused by the Ravens defense. I mean, they did a good job forcing some turnovers there, had a lot of forcing them out of bounds. They instituted the double team on Pace there a couple times. So I think defensively they really woke up in the second half, but Pace did a great job. I mean, they kept it close the entire way. They kept us on the edge of our seats for sure here, but however, Franklin Pierce, consistency at the end is what helped him to this victory.
Absolutely. So your Franklin Pierce Ravens improved to 3-4 here at the Fieldhouse. I am Andrew Honig, your play-by-play announcer, alongside with my colleagues Patrick Seavey and Ian Maluski for color commentary. We thank you for listening to both the men's and women's broadcasts tonight. We had a great crew all around, cameramen, graphics designing, the works. You just don't know how great it's coming along here at Franklin Pierce University. Thank you once again for enjoying this 86-78 win over the Pace University Setters, and we'll see you back here on January 30th for the New Haven matchup.